Hello Year 10, welcome to another home learning video. Now before we start, please make sure you have your pens, paper, pencil and calculators ready, just like you would have in a normal lesson, so we can commence your learning, okay? Right, so let's go through our learning objectives today. Our first learning objective will be to review areas of compound shapes from previous lessons. Our second learning objective would be to calculate shaded regions with rectangles only. And our third learning objective will be calculating shaded regions with triangles inside of rectangles, okay? Now, I would like you to pause the video and have a go at the do now task. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a go, we're going to have a look at the last two questions. I know some of you might have trouble with those. So if we look at this question first, we want to calculate the area of this shape below and not the perimeter. So that's one thing I want to make clear. All right. We also need to know that we need to split the shape up into two rectangles. We can go either across like this or down like this. All right. The issue with going across is that we got to do 13 multiplied by 4, which some of you I know could do in your heads. But if you want to do it with shorter numbers, then it's probably easier to go down like that, okay? Now, before we split it up, we need to work out this length here and this length here, all right? So we know that the total length from this point to this point is 13 centimeters, and the distance from this point to this point is 8 centimeters. So therefore, to find the missing length horizontally, we need to subtract 8 from 13. So that would give us a length of 5. Similarly, when we look downwards, the total length from this point to this point is 6 centimeters, and the distance from this point to this point is 4 centimeters. So we need to work out what we need to add to 4 to get 6. All right, so that would be just this little length here, okay? So 6 minus 4 is just going to be 2. All right? Now, I will call this shape A and this shape B. So looking at shape A, we have a 5 by 6 rectangle, and when you multiply that together, that's 30. We want to add that to the area of the rectangle, which is 8 by 4. 8 times 4 is 32. And 30 plus 32 would give us 62 centimeters squared. Okay? Double underline that. Let's move on to our second question. Now, with something like this, you've got a rectangle and a triangle. Just label those A and B. Now, to find the area of a rectangle, if we do that first, I'll do that down here. That would be a 14 by 6 rectangle, okay? Now, some of you might be able to do 14 times 6 in your head, but let's just use the Chinese method, all right? I'll do that somewhere up here. So, put your times there. That goes across like that. So we're doing 14 multiplied by 6. So 1 times 6 would give us 6, no tens, and 6 units. 4 times 6 would give us 24. So when we go across, that's a 4 underneath. That's an 8 there, and we have 0. So that would give us just 84 centimeters squared. Now we're going to add that to the area of the triangle. That's 14. Now, to get the height, we know that the height of the whole thing, as shown by this pointer here, is 11 centimeters. And the height of the rectangle is 6 centimeters. So what we want to do is find what we need to add to 6 to get 11. All right, so that's the height that we want. So if we subtract 6 from 11, we get 5. So therefore the height of the triangle is 5. The area of that would be base times height, divide that by 2. Now, you can also use a half base times height, okay, as we have harder numbers. Now, if you half 14, that's 7. So you can say 7 times 5 would give you 35 centimeters squared, okay? Or you can do 14 times 5 is 70. Half that is 35. So then when you add together 84 and 35, the answer should be 119 centimeters squared. Okay? Right, what I'll do is I shall give you the rest of these. So here's the first one. You won't be able to see that. The area is 49.2 centimeters squared. The perimeter is 28.4. And for the second one, you can also half 14 and then times it by 8. So half of 14 is 7. And then times that by 8 is 56 centimeters squared. Okay, if you want to use half base times height. Okay. Right, so let's get on with today's lesson. Okay, there's the rest of the answers. Can we copy this date and title down now, please? Okay, well done. So we know that compound shapes would look something like this, where we have 2 or more shapes that are stuck together. And we want to work out the total area of this thing, okay, where we split them up and then add them together. Now, compound shapes aren't always just taking two shapes and adding them together. There may be times when we want to subtract, okay? And an example is like this. So let's say we've got a picture frame here, and you have a picture inside this frame. All right, so that could be 2 people, maybe something you have, someone who's a good friend of yours. Now, if your friendship disappears all of a sudden, okay, if you want to work out, then you might need to remove the picture from the frame, all right, leaving you with just this shaded bit. So to work out the area of the shaded bit, you would need to subtract the area of the little rectangle from the big rectangle. All right? So sometimes it might be necessary to take away. So when you take out that picture, what you're going to have is a massive hole in the middle where you've just got this bit here. All right? So I've taken that picture out. Okay? Right. So let's look at some examples. Can we copy down example number 1, please? All right, so we want to find the area of the shaded region. So we're just interested in the area of this pink bit here, okay? So all I've got to do is find the area of my big rectangle. which is 7 by 5. 7 times 5 is 35. And you subtract it by the area of the triangle that you see of the rectangle, that you see on the inside, which is 5 by 3, and that's 15. So if you subtract 15 from 35, that would give you, if you put this in a column method if you want, you can do this in your head, 35 minus 15, I'll just get rid of that because that's a bit difficult to see. So 35 minus 15, 5 take away 5 is 0, 3 take away 1 is 2, that would give you 20, okay? And that's it, centimeters squared. All right? Now, let's have a go at this question here. Pause the video, have a go. Okay, well done. So this time we're going to work out the area of this grey bit here. Now, in order to work that out, all you do is find the area of the big square. 4 by 4. 4 times 4 is 16. You subtract the square in the middle from it, which is 2 by 2. 2 times 2 is 4. And 16, take away 4, is 12 centimeters squared. Okay? So let's double underline that. Right. Let's have a go at another example. Okay? Right, so here's something which is a little bit harder. We want to find the area of this shaded region. Okay, so let's copy down this example, please. Right, now the first thing you may need, it looks really hard, but it is quite easy. The first thing that I will actually allow you to do is use a calculator for this because it has decimals in it, okay? So let's see. So we know what the area of the big rectangle is. We know the big rectangle is 6.8 by 5.4 centimeters. All right, so using my calculator, 6.8 times 5.4 would give you 36.72 centimeters squared. All right. Now, the problem is, if we subtract the little rectangle from it, we do not know what the length or the width is yet. All right. So we need to look at the clues. Okay. So let's first of all find the width. Okay. The width is going across. So let's look across. So going from this corner to this corner is 6.8. All right. And going from this bit to this bit is 1.8. Okay. This little bit next to the rectangle is 1.1. Okay. So 1.1 plus whatever the width of the rectangle is plus 1.8 will give you 6.8. Okay, so the best thing for me to do is do 1.1 plus 1.8 first, and the answer is 2.9. And when we subtract 2.9 from 6.8, so 6.8 minus 2.9, if you do this with a calculator, you'll get 3.5, okay? So therefore, 3.9, sorry. 3.9. So therefore, the width is 3.9 centimeters, okay? Now, to work out the length, if you go diagonally, all right, we know that the whole thing is 5.4 centimeters. We know that this bit is 0.7 centimeters. We don't know the width of the rectangle, but I know that this bit is 2.2 centimeters. Okay, so if we add 2.2 and 0.7 first, the answer is 2.9. Then all we've got to do is take it away from 5.4. Okay, so 5.4 minus 2.9, I can do this on a calculator, and the answer would be 2.5 centimeters. Okay, so length times width would be 9.75. Doing this on a calculator, and then when you subtract the two, you should get 26.97 centimeters squared. Okay, right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a question to try, but rather than just letting you get on with it, what I will do is I'll start you off on it and I'll let you complete it yourself, okay? Because it was kind of a more difficult example. This one is fairly easy, all right? So to find the area of this shape, you would subtract your big rectangle from the little. So the length and width of the big rectangle is 8 by 6. You now have to subtract the area of the little rectangle, okay? So what you would recognize is that if you go across, the length of the whole thing is 8 centimeters. The length of this little bit here is 1 centimeter. The length of this little bit here is also going to be 1 centimeter, okay? So the width, okay, so if I do 1 plus whatever the width is, I'll get 8, okay? So all I've got to do to get the width is 8, take away 1 plus 1 is 2, so that would give you 6, okay? When you go downwards, you can do this in another pen, you'll recognise the following, okay? To go downwards, the whole way is 6 centimeters, but this bit is 1, this bit is 1, so 1 plus something would give you 6, okay? So if I do 6, take away 2, because 1 plus 1 is 2, the answer would be 4, okay? So I've got a 6 by 4 rectangle, okay? Right, pause the video from here and have a go at completing this. Brilliant. So the area of this rectangle, the big one that is 48 centimeters squared. The area of this rectangle is 24 centimeters squared. So to work this out, 48 minus 24, 8 take away 4 is 4, is just 20, and 4 take away 2 is 2. So the answer is 24 centimeters squared, okay? So make sure we have that down, please. Right. Let's have a go at this question. Can we copy this shape down, please? Now, what we will recognise is this time to find the area of the green bit, you have two parts to it here. You need to take away the area of the triangle in the middle. So if I just shade the triangle in blue, from the area of the rectangle, all right? Now, the rectangle has a base of 10, but if you look at 7 in the middle, that's also the height of the rectangle, okay? And 10 times 7 is 70, all right? Now, we want to take away the area of the triangle. So if you look in the middle, the base is 10, and the height is 7. So the area is 7 times 10, base times height, then divide by 2. Okay, so that would give you 7 times 10 is 70, divided by 2 is 35. Now, if you want, you can also half 10 to give you 5 and then times it by 7. So you could have done a half times 10 times 7, 35. Okay, so when you subtract 35 from 70, 0 take away 5 you can't do. Borrow from the 7, that becomes a 6. Put the 1 next to the 0. 10 take away 5 is 5. 6 take away 3 is 3. Okay, so the answer is 35 centimeters squared. Okay, right. Well done. Let's have a go at this question. Now, this question is quite simple. So if you want to pause the video and have a go from here, you can. Otherwise, I will start you off, okay? So it's easy to see that the rectangle is 10 by 8. And you want to subtract the area of the triangle, which is 4 by 6, okay? Pause the video, have a go. Okay, well done. So 8 times 10 would give you 80. Now, to work out the area of the triangle, remember it's 4 times 6 and then divide by 2. 4 times 6 is 24. When you half that, that is 12. You can also do it like this. A half times 6 times 4, half base times height. Half of 6 is 3. 3 times 4 is 12. So 80, take away 12. I think that's easy enough to do in your head. That's 68 meters squared. Okay? I'll double underline that. Right, guys. So I would now like you to have a go at these questions here. Okay, brilliant. Well done for having a go. Hope you recognise, guys, that we had some compound shapes here. Okay, I'll just go through it with the answers. What they've done here is they've split it up into 2 rectangles. So you'd have 8 times 3 would give you 24, and 3 times 3 would give you... That's 3. Sorry, they've taken away 2 lots of 3 from here, so that's 2. Okay, 3, 6, and add that to make 8. So if we do 3 times 2, that's 6. So you've got to add 24 to 6, and the area of the compound shape would give you 30. Okay, 15 times 15 is 225. So when you do 225, take away 30, your answer to this is 5. Can't borrow from 2, so put 1, put a 1 there. Okay, 12 take away 3 is 9, and that's 1. Okay, so that should be 195 centimeters squared. Okay, right. The rest of these are down here. Okay, these ones are pretty basic to figure out. With this one, what they've done is 25 times 60. Divide that by 2 to get 750. And 39 times 52 divided by 2 to get to 10.4. So you just do 200 times 140. When you do 200 times 140, you get 28,000. So you've got to do 28,000, take away 10.4, take away 750, and that'll give you your answer. Okay? Right, guys, so let's look at your quiz, okay? So make sure, now that's the end of the lesson, so